allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Now we will have a roll call, please.
Councilmember Archibald?
Here.
Councilmember Haremza?
Here.
Councilmember Lamb?
Here.
Councilmember Mosrak?
Here.
Councilmember Payton?
Here.
Councilmember Pemberton?
Here.
Mayor Ashford?
Present. Thank you. Council members, we have before you minutes from our regular meeting on June the 9th. Your pleasure, please. Is there a motion?
So moved. Support?
Moved by Councilmember Pemberton and supported by Councilmember Mosrak. Any discussion? Hearing none. Roll call, please.
Councilmember Archibald?
Yes.
Councilmember Haremza?
Yes.
Councilmember Lamb?
Yes.
Councilmember Mosrak?
Yes.
Councilmember Payton?
Yes.
Councilmember Pemberton?
Yes.
Mayor Ashford?
Yes.
Mayor Ashford?
Yes.
I move to add a resolution to the agenda authorizing the mayor to initiate an evaluation of the city manager utilizing the previously adopted evaluation format. This process shall include authorizing the city clerk to distribute the established evaluation form to all city council members for their completion and submission back to the mayor within the designated time frame.
Support?
It has been properly moved by Mayor Pro Tem Archibald and supported by Councilmember Pemberton. Any discussion? Hearing none. Roll call, please.
Councilmember Haremza?
Yes.
Councilmember Lamb?
Yes.
Councilmember Mosrak?
Yes.
Councilmember Payton?
Yes.
Councilmember Pemberton?
Yes.
Councilmember Archibald?
Yes.
Mayor Ashford?
Yes. Okay. Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem. Okay, so now we're public hearing. Read.
To hear comments on the continuation of the Downtown Special Assessment District for the ongoing maintenance of the Huron Avenue Streetscape Project. Following the hearing, council will consider adoption of the resolution to continue the Special Assessment District.
Public hearing number 1 is now open. Do we have anyone wishing to address this council on public hearing number 1?
Brian Farquhar, 19th Avenue. I guess sitting here and reading the agenda, I'm just confused on why we have two separate things, because these are worded the exact same word for word on the copy of the agenda that we got as far as the public hearing. So I guess we don't really know what public hearing 2 may be, or what's going on there. If we can get some clarification there, that would be about the only clarification I think I would need. Thank you.
Okay. If the clerk will explain that, I think we talk about Huron Avenue Streetscape and we talk about Military Street.
I see it now.
Yeah, they're separate.
Oh, okay. I just want to make sure we were in sync. But thank you for bringing that to our attention. Okay, did we receive a letter? Is this the one?
They might be here on. Yep.
Okay.
Yes, they are.
We did receive a letter on this public hearing, and I will read it. Is anyone here that is representative of this letter that submitted it? Okay. Okay, I will read this. It says, Ms. Johnson, I object to this special assessment of my property. We pay healthy property taxes already, and as the property owner, I don't feel like I get anything more than what my property taxes should be already provided for. I have sat in meetings in previous years that talked about what we get for this special assessment and do not feel I get any benefits from it. I get 0 snow removal, 0 salting of sidewalks, and 0 planting, and etc. I do see what the other businesses receive, but it does not extend to my property. We provide all these services at our own cost. In addition to not receiving services, we are assessed an unfair amount of cost compared to the other businesses downtown in this district. I am not sure of the calculations, but I know we are assessed 2 to 3 times than other businesses. I own property in other cities that do provide these same services that are being lumped into this special assessment, and do not, they got this changed around, do not change the small businesses for it. They do not charge the small business for this. They assume those costs to help these businesses survive because they are the backbone of their city. Without these small businesses, there is no downtown. I do intend to appeal to the state of Michigan if this assessment is taken on my property taxes. Respectfully, Eugene Harrison is the owner. So I'll make sure to read that into the minutes.
Yep, I got it.
Is there anyone else wishing to address the city council on this public hearing? Okay. Public hearing number 1 closed, and we will address that.
James may be able
James,
to
you
answer
can
that
address
better
that
than I.
later. Can you address this?
Yeah, it's completely untrue. They provide the same level of services that every other downtown business it has. It is assessed based on a linear footage of your frontage to the street. So it's the most equitable way of doing it. So if you have a larger building or a smaller building, it's based on your linear footage. There's 36 different parcels on that assessment, and that is the only person who voiced any concerns about the assessment. So they get a lot of the beautiful flower baskets, the plantings downtown, the maintenance, all of that clearly goes to benefit the downtown as a whole.
Okay, so do we have a criteria that they all follow? He mentioned some disparity, he doesn't get.
Yeah, he's done by a linear foot like every other property is.
Okay.
It's the fairest way.
Have you had any conversation with
Oh,
them?
yeah, every year this comes up.
Oh.
Yep.
Oh, okay,
Every year.
all right,
Duly noted.
okay. Thank you. Do anybody else have any questions of the city manager on this? Okay. Okay, hearing none, I will accept a motion.
So moved.
Moved by
Support.
Mayor Pro Tem Archibald,
Support.
supported by Councilmember Lamb. Any discussion? Hearing none, please take the vote, please.
Councilmember Lamb?
Yes.
Councilmember Mosrek?
Yes.
Councilmember Payton?
Yes.
Councilmember Pemberton?
Yes.
Councilmember Archibald?
Yes.
Councilmember Haremza?
Yes.
Mayor Ashford?
Yes. Motion carried. Now we're going to go into public hearing number 2, which is now open. And if anyone in the audience wishing to address public hearing number 2, can you please come forth at this time?
Did you want me to read it at all? Did you want me to
Oh,
read
yeah, I
the
want you to
title?
read, oh, okay. Oh,
To hear comments on the continuation of the Downtown Special Assessment District for the ongoing maintenance of the Military Streetscape project. Following the hearing, council will consider adoption of the resolution to continue the Special Assessment District.
okay. So we heard what it's for, so anybody want to address this end of the public hearing? Seeing none, public hearing number 2 is closed, and I will receive the adoption.
So moved.
Moved by Councilmember Mosrek, supported by Councilmember Pemberton. Are there any questions or anything, Ryan? Okay.
Madam Mayor, just pointing out that this is significantly less than the other assessment, and the reason for that is this side of the bridge, they do not get snow removal. So and we did revisit that in the last year and surveyed all the businesses, the property owners down there, and the majority still declined snow removal.
Oh, okay. So that goes to the point that was made before. So what he's saying is they don't get it anyway.
He does on his
Yeah.
property,
He does, but the other ones don't get the snow removal.
on this district, in the Military Street District.
Right, yeah.
Yep.
Oh, okay. All right.
And then when we did the vote, it was like split, almost dead even. And so there are, because a lot of businesses have changed hands, who thought maybe they would want the snow removal. So but the majority rules.
Oh, okay. Okay, so, it's been properly moved and seconded, and the only discussion we had by him, I'm calling for the vote right now.
Councilmember Moserak?
Yes.
Councilmember Peyton?
Yes.
Councilmember Pemberton?
Yes.
Councilmember Archibald?
Yes.
Councilmember Haremza?
Yes.
Councilmember Lamb?
Yes.
Mayor Ashford?
Yes. Great, thank you. And at this particular time, it's now time for the public comment session. If anyone in the audience wishes to address the city council on any agenda item or any matter under the city's jurisdiction, now is the time to do so. You are allotted 1 4-minute opportunity to make your comments. Please begin your comments by stating your name and address for the record.
Good evening, Mayor,
Good
City
evening.
Council. Just I'd like to bring up a few things, hot topics that kind of showed themselves in the last couple of weeks. I'd like to know, and I know you guys can't respond when you're sitting at the desk there, but is it possible during the recent ice, how would you put it? Ice went to the Gilo Pickle Company. They have a facility in Port Huron, they have a facility in Croswell, Lexington. And the fact is, they accuse them of having non-registered employees, which is all untrue. I guess my question is, did we serve as any part of that committee that took the rest of these people? It would be a sad tragedy. I don't know how many of you people watched it on TV and stuff and watched people, their rights were cut short and everything like that. Well, it was close to Port Huron. It stopped a busload of these registered workers and stuff. And like you say, they have a spot on Dove Road, and they have several facilities up in St. Louis County. So, okay, next on the agenda here is I was kind of astounded last meeting in the 9th of the month. We had a payment thing here, and we had change orders for $800,780, and I didn't see one council member look in their packet to explain where all this money is going. I think it's just started the bleeding. You know, you got this project going out here, and the biggest part of that change order was that thing out there. We're building a concrete boat, and concrete boats don't stay ashore very long before they sink. So I think you better be damn careful how we get this job done. 2425, you know, I looked at the city manager's item number 5, and it's a recap of basically what the city auditor, the city finance officer said that we need to do to collect up and catch up with what's going on, make everything current. And that's on the agenda tonight, and I hope you visit some of that there. You know, there's over $2 million that you're going to allocate with 1A. And I think it's something you really want to look at. Especially when I looked at it, the last thing before I left the house tonight, it appears construction work in the city park on 16th Street has 2 invoices there, one for $125,000 and the other one for $122,000. And it's a pretty shabby job anyways. The other thing that kind of disturbs me, I've been a union member for a long, long time, and I think that part of the agenda here that comes out with these minutes is kind of disturbing. We took time enough to announce that we give our bargaining employees a raise, but we pointed out non-union employees and told how much they were going to get for a raise. I don't think that's fair. That's not good politics, people. Sorry. And last but not least, I guess one thing that kind of has been going on, when you guys talked here last week, you talked about the chicken issue, which we're talking about, and we're kicking that can down the road again. Now we're saying tonight that it appears that we're going to take away the voters' rights and we're going to send out a survey. Don't do that. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Hi, my name is Eric Wormlinger. I live at 1985 Paul's Court in Marysville. Good afternoon, Mayor Ashford, Mr. Freed, distinguished council members, and citizens of Port Huron. I'm coming to you tonight to address a situation that many of you may or may not know about. Several years ago, I found out from my father that my grandfather on my mother's side is buried in a section of Lakeside Cemetery, also known as a pauper cemetery. For those unfamiliar with what a pauper cemetery is, it's a section of the cemetery that holds the souls of those that could not afford a proper burial at the time. From doing research through city records, as well as Find a Grave, I found that there's almost 400 people buried in this location. Many are children and immigrants, some 2 or 3 in a grave. I've been in contact with several city employees, but since I started this project about 2 years ago, many are not employed now or have moved on to different positions. When I first went to the site in 2023, I found that the cemetery was surrounded by a fence and locked, and was told that you needed to have an appointment to visit. This was corrected after speaking with former employee Nancy Windsor. The fence is no longer there and no longer locked. So we have made progress there. I did meet with Jason Coleman, who's in charge of the grounds, and told him that I would like to head up a project to improve the area and place a sign designating this area as a cemetery, as well as placing a memorial bench in the area. I'm happy to say that Mr. Coleman agreed to pour cement for the bench and install the sign once I acquire it through fundraising efforts. In ending, my intentions are not to cause the city of Port Huron any unneeded negativity. Any help the city could offer would be much appreciated. I would just like to give these lost souls the respect that they deserve. They were poor in life but should be honored in death. There is much more information that I have, but due to time constraints, I need to keep this brief. If anyone would like to ask me any questions, please feel free to email me at wurm64@yahoo.com. Again, that's worm64@yahoo.com. Or you can check out a Facebook page that I had created by searching out Lakeside Pauper Cemetery Project. And that kind of is what I've done so far on the project. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Brian Farquhar, 19th Avenue. I apologize for that earlier, guys. I see I was combining the 2 streets together, but I understand the flags are different, so. All right, so I showed you guys my jar that I brought. This is water I pulled from the Black River before I came down tonight. Yesterday, my daughter and I were paddleboarding through the Black River. I know that's a brave thing to do, but it's on the Michigan streams of kayaking and paddleboarding and the rest, so we figured we'd go check out some of the big boats that were down at the gas dock there and get a whole different view than we get on our bicycles. Besides the dead mouse and the sticks and the leaves and the grass and, regular debris, pop cans, beer cans, the rest of it floating down through that general area. There's this, which was taken off the top of the water. You guys can see a little bit of settlement now, but we need to open up that canal. We need to take the wall out. It's kind of SOL as far as whatever, and we're going to be whatever we're going to be, but we're damaging the value of people's homes. We're damaging people's boats and people's property. Okay, now it's their choice to put it in that river, but we are damaging that stuff with the stuff that's going down the river. And we're 2 weeks away from the Bayview-Mackinac race, right? Anybody know the economic impacts of that? Because organizers say between $30 and $59 million. So even if you take half of that to here, that's $15 million coming downtown in 2 weeks. And this is what we're going to give those people? We should be ashamed. So the other thing, I had a great conversation after the last meeting with one of the highest ranking members in the Port Huron Police Department. Okay, I promised I would not out him. It was a him, and he was here, so everybody can probably guess who it was. And I asked him a really off-the-wall question. And I said, "Sir, can I sunbathe in my backyard nude?" You know what the answer was? The answer is, under my Fourth Amendment right, I have the reasonable expectation of privacy in my backyard to come outside and sunbathe nude. My neighbors can't stop me. As long as I have a privacy fence, 6-foot fence is all it takes, because if you're peeping over that 6-foot fence, guess what? What you see is too bad, because you shouldn't have looked over the 6-foot fence. You know, and this is, you know, here, for Google, a reasonable expectation of privacy is a legal concept that determines the extent to which individuals are protected from government intrusion into their personal lives and property. Okay? Property. It is a key component to understanding the scope of privacy under the Fourth Amendment, which is our constitutional right, given by our forefathers, right? And essentially, it means individuals have a right to privacy in certain places with certain items, and that right should be protected from unreasonable government intrusion. Okay? So technically, that means my backyard is my place, my property. It doesn't matter what my neighbors say. Have any of you actually been to a backyard chicken place? Have any of you actually been someplace that has 5 or less chickens? Right? I bet you that you heard more birds chirping in the trees than you heard of those chickens making noise. We allow our city council member, not to call you out, Mr. Hamaza, to have chickens in his yard for a party.
Thank you, Mr. Farber.
Right.
Your time is up. Thank you.
It's pretty crazy, guys.
Rachel Farquhar, 19th Ave. On the same note as my husband, I guess. So I hear a lot about Elon Musk lately and his ambitions to go to Mars and his ambition to build a resilient civilization on Mars, one that can survive on its own. His entire vision depends on one core idea: self-reliance. But we don't need to look to space to see the need for resilience. Right here in our city, we're falling behind. Rising food prices, growing instability, and now another war in the Middle East are putting more pressure on families. Backyard chickens offer a simple, local solution: fresh eggs, lower grocery store cost, and increased food security. We're not asking for a permanent change at this point because you all already voted it down. We just want a 12-month trial with the clear rules, no roosters, small flocks, and coop standards that were in the ordinance that the city attorney made for us. It's a low-risk way to test the real impact. Other cities have done this successfully. I just came back from Dallas, where I spent the week at the World Trade Center in Dallas talking to tons of people. I had so many Lyft drivers, and I talked to them all about chickens. They couldn't believe that we don't have the right to have chickens here in Port Huron. They couldn't believe that the citizens in Port Huron allowed that to happen. From my understanding, we didn't allow it. From my understanding, it was never voted on to begin with. So for you guys, and for the expectation to be that we had to take this to the ballot, which we will do if you don't come up with something for us, it's ludicrous because you didn't take it to the ballot when you took it away from us. Other cities have done this successfully, and we can follow their lead with the proven guidelines that exist. If we want to become a truly resilient city, we need to start now with policies that support self-resilient families.
Thank you.
Madam Mayor, honorable city council members, esteemed staff, and members of the public. I'm here to speak to you today regarding item K concerning the keeping of chickens within city limits. I'm Dr. Leslie Bender-Jutsi from the South Side. Train up a child in the way they should go, and when they are old, they will not depart from it. For several weeks now, the city has heard sincere, heartfelt, and scientific information in support of an ordinance providing for the keeping of chickens in Port Huron. This testimony has primarily been directed by the young adults in Port Huron, and they have done an outstanding job of providing factual information concerning this issue. When I think of how they have been trained, I think of a city that has clearly nurtured them and emboldened them to pursue a community where they want to raise their own children. They have spoken eloquently about the benefits of raising chickens. They have discussed the support chickens give to science programs, the pest control offered by chickens, and of course, both the nutritional and financial support that families receive when they are consuming eggs from their own chickens. They have even come up with all sorts of compromises to at least try this type of ordinance. Port Huron, you have trained them very well. As a former owner of a flock down in Texas, and as a former district administrator at a K-12 school district, I can affirm that the testimony that you received from these young adults was truthful. So I am puzzled about why this council would not approve this ordinance. To me, the testimony provided by these young adults and their supporters is nothing short of outstanding. This is an issue that is relevant to their lives. They have sought information from experts, information affirmed by the city's attorney, who is also knowledgeable in this field. As a former lobbyist, I could not have done a better job of presenting this topic. So, in the face of this overwhelming support from the community, the outstanding support from these young adults, and the city attorney's statements, I do not understand why you do not approve this local ordinance. As a person who is a lifelong Girl Scout, an educator, and a community servant who has devoted my life to helping young people, I want to caution you. When you train up a child in the way they should go, and then you reject the teaching that you provided to them when they implement your training, they will depart from it. They will see the hypocrisy and they will lose respect for those who train them. So to the city council I say, this ordinance provides you so much more than chickens. It provides you an opportunity to connect with a population of young people who will soon run this city. It is imperative that you are responsive to them so that they will continue to listen to you and learn the future lessons that they need to be successful. You are hemorrhaging the youth population. It is important that you say yes so that they will stay. And to the young adults here, I want you to know that I am so proud of you. I am thankful that I happened upon that meeting at Petaway so many months ago, and I was able to see the excitement and hope in your eyes as you discussed this matter. I told you, promised you that if you went to the city council with a show of overwhelming support, letting them know how important this was to you, I would be utterly shocked if they said no. I am sorry. I thought they would listen. I thought they would be respectful of your opinions. Now I say to you, do not let anyone look down on you because you are young, but set an example for all in speech, in conduct, in love, and in faith. Pursue your dreams and know that I will be with you every step of the way.
Thank you. Thank you. Is there anyone else in the audience?
Hi, I'm Trash the Clown, 24th Street, Port Huron, obviously. Due to the time constraint and the rather awkward, non-conversational, and dare I say almost funeral-like nature of these meetings, I've decided to go off script with my normal off-the-cuff trashy shtick by ironically writing a script of what I will say. I even washed my hair and wore a bra. You're lucky. Let's see. This is handwritten too, so you know it's not AI. And I'm bound to speak the words that are written by my past self, however my past self may have written them. Meow, meow. Meow, 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 meow. The real absurdity facing all of us in this existence is the constant noise of hate and division, inaction and injustice. It's absurd how there's the rich and the exploited poor. It is absurd how we have forgotten how to love our neighbor and our community, and we have forgotten how to love anyone else who lives on this rock floating in space with us. For those of you sitting up in the fancy seats, and I'm sure probably half of you are blank staring at me right now, but I don't know because I'm avoiding eye contact because I'm awkward like that. While the big boss governments in our world behave like spoiled, rotten children on a reality show, Your position here in this council is to be a leader in our community. Leaders who unite the community and who serve the community. You ought to be examples of exemplary citizenship, examples of kindness and respect. You ought to be focusing your time, energy, and resources on figuring out what the community needs, not what you want. It should be your goal every day you hold your position to make the communities today and tomorrow better than it was yesterday. And that takes a commitment to the entire community. It takes good stewardship of the community's resources and funds. It takes leadership that operates the government above reproach. It takes thinking outside the box and asking the questions like, why aren't we taking multiple bids on projects before shelling out thousands upon thousands of dollars? Why isn't every dollar coming in and out of the city, why isn't that blatantly transparent for everyone to see? If we want our community to be better, then we have to be better ourselves. And you signed up to be an example of this when you put your hat in the ring for your seat. So, be selfless. Be respectful. Stay in your seat until the meeting is over. Your community is watching you, so behave in a way where your community can also look up to you. All this said with much love and much hope for our future. Trash Clown, thank you.
Jessica Jeffrey, 1013 Garfield. I spoke last time about integrity and transparency. I'm very disheartened that it really is that difficult to start the live stream just a minute earlier. The citizens of Port Huron are entitled to see everything this chamber does. And the fact that you're hiding the opening prayer is horrible. The citizens of Port Huron need to see everything. And regardless of the separation of church and state, whether or not you agree with the prayer or you don't, every single person that's here, that's not, needs to see everything inside this chamber. And all that takes is clicking a button 60 seconds earlier. That's all it is. And I don't know why it's so hard. This was 2 weeks ago that I spoke about it, and it should have been fixed already. I saw the live stream go live. I also spoke last week, I got cut off, so I'm gonna try and go really quick about the diversity of Port Huron. My point last time was how diverse we were, not only in race, but in religion. That you all are here, sitting here, you vote for us, for our diversity, for the diversity of our religion. You vote for everybody, not for whichever you feel most comfortable in. You vote for everybody out there. You are voted in on a nonpartisan basis in order to vote on behalf of everybody, not just for your personal statistics that you align on. And I think you all need to remember that. Some of you align on certain statistics, and you need to remember that not all of Port Huron aligns with those personal statistics. Broaden your minds. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else wishing to address the council? Come on down.
Madam Mayor, City Council, Angela Kelly, I'm at 1410 11th Street, which I received a second notification about the lead in my service lines. If no one's received this letter, this is service line materials, been determined that it's identified as lead from the main to the curb stop. Also in this letter, this is the second notice I've gotten, was from the Port Huron Health Department, just said basically run your water and you're okay. Not, hey, here's a coupon for water testing kit or anything like that. And unfortunately, in between that time, we've got nothing from you. We've got nothing what you plan on doing about this. any future projects. Just absolutely no notification except for here it is. So I wanted to say how disappointing it is that we're receiving this unfortunate letter as homeowners, and then also just asking around my community, my own neighborhood, that not every homeowner in the city of Port Huron has received this. And let's not forget that we're at that terrible tipping point that we have more renters than homeowners, and the renters are not getting these notifications. So considering that most are families, especially on the south side, we definitely need to make sure that the renters are receiving this also. I understand that you can't give a lot of feedback, but it would be nice to be able to hear some feedback or get a letter in the mail of what the city proposes to do about this. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Is there anyone else out there wishing to address the Port Huron City Council this evening?
Good evening, Council. Jimmy Dotto, 9th and Union. I really don't have anything prepared. I just want to share a couple stories. I did speak with the mayor the other day. I saw that Fort Gratiot Fire Department number 1 was opening up their doors to help cool the community. I had reached out to the mayor because I had gone to our brand new one here on 9th and Union, and they weren't participating in that. Hopefully we can make some movement on that. I don't know where we're at with that, Mayor, but another thing I want to talk about is the ICE raids. Yeah, I don't know if anyone else is upset about that, but that really upsets me. I think last time I was here, I was speaking to you guys about that. I had commented on a post because we were having it, happen in real time, and out of blue, I had a friend text me. I won't say who it is, but it's a friend of mine that I used to work with at Red Lobster, and he says, I'm sorry, I got a little lost here. Hope all is well. I know it's been a long time since we spoke, since Red Lobster days. I saw a comment you posted on randomly about the raids going on across Lex today. Do you have any info on what time or where it's taking place? My wife works in Lexington and currently is in the immigration process, and I have not heard from her in 2 hours or more. Starting to get really worried after seeing this. We corresponded for a while. The fear is real. I just want you guys to know. It's real. It's palpable. It's happening in our community. The gentleman just spoke about it. I believe I actually wrote to most of you all and called you all, actually, and I really didn't get a response but one. It concerns the hell out of me. I'll tell you a little story really quickly. I work with somebody. They were out having a good time with their friends. Long story short, their car ended up at the bar. She was taken off with her boyfriend on his bike. Somebody pointed out her vehicle to the police as one had damaged his vehicle. Long story short, they impounded my friend's vehicle that I work with, and because it was unlocked and because there was a ding in it, they had the right to do that, apparently. And they rifled through all of her stuff and tore it all up and left it that way. And then she had to pay $350 to get out of impound and get a hit, of course, on her insurance. The thing of it is, all it took was somebody to say, hey, that's the one that did it. Overreach, people. What's happening here in our community is what I'm concerned about. Are our police happening to be helping the ICE? What's going on with that? We need more transparency. People are scared. Thank you. That's all I have.
All right, thank you, Mr. Bell. Is there anyone else left wanting to address the Port Huron City Council on any items that may be within our jurisdiction? Okay, we're hearing and seeing none. I'd like to thank you all for coming forth this evening, and those questions that we kind of highlighted up here, we will try to hit some of them towards the end of the meeting and give you some kind of explanation for that. And with that, public hearing is now closed. We'll move forward to our consent agenda. Is there a motion?
So moved.
It's been moved by Mayor Pro Tem Archibald and supported by Councilmember Lamb Any discussion? Hearing none, I will proceed to read our, take the vote first, and then I'll proceed to read that, okay?
Councilmember Peyton?
Yes.
Councilmember Pemberton?
Yes.
Councilmember Archibald?
Yes.
Councilmember Haremza?
Yes.
Councilmember Lamb?
Yes.
Councilmember Mosrak?
Yes.
Mayor Ashford?
Yes. From the city manager, we have one under the consent agenda, is receive and file notifications that Natasha Hayden has been reappointed by the city manager to the Port Huron Housing Commission with a term to expire on June 30th, 2030. Under resolutions, we have 5. Number 1, approving the lease agreement with the Macomb St. Clair Workforce Development Board and agents. Oh, I'm sorry, forgive me, at the right one, forgive me. A good thing that I'm human. I'm telling you, you can't beat that. Okay, resolution number 3, approving a new 3-year collective bargaining agreement. Where?
6, we go all the way to 6, I think.
Okay. Oh, I made this notation, okay. Boy, oh boy.
These two,
Okay.
okay.
I'm here, okay. Okay, under communications, we have 2, receive and file notification from the Michigan Liquor Control Commission that an application has been received to transfer ownership of a 2025 Class C and SDM license to Huron Hospitality LLC located at 103 Michigan Street. Number 2, receive and file notifications from the Michigan Liquor Control Commission that an application has been received to transfer ownership of a 2025 Class C and SDM license located at 1204 12th Avenue. Those came from communications and petitions. 2, on the consent agenda. From the city manager, again, it's 1, and I will repeat that one, is receive and file notification that Natasha Hayden has been reappointed by the city manager to the Port Huron Housing Commission with a term to expire on June the 30th, 2030. Number 6, approving the expansion of the Port Huron Social District to include the area surrounding the American Legion Charles Hammond Post 8 located at 1026 6th Street and the east-facing outdoor area of the Wrigley Center located at 318 Grand River for consideration by the Michigan Liquor Control Commission. Number 7, approving the qualified license establishment American Legion Charles Hammond Post and located at 1026 6th Street into the Port Huron Social District and recommending applicants be approved by the Michigan Liquor Control Commission. Number 8, approving the appointment of Gary Olmsted to the Zoning Board of Appeals to serve as the Planning Commission's representative for a term to expire August 11, 2027, and the appointment of Pauline Rep to the Zoning Board of Appeals for a term to expire July the 1st, 2028. Resolution number 9, confirming the mayor's reappointment of William Olmsted Jr., Lee Ward, and Timothy Ward to the Local Development Finance Authority for terms to expire June 11, 2029. Number 10, approving the application for an obsolete property rehabilitation exemption certificate for 901 Huron Avenue for 5 years. Okay, I think that completes it. Okay. And those were the items that were on the consent agenda. And I do apologize for moving ahead up on that one. Now we will go to our back to, okay. Let me find my back to from the city manager. Okay, and here, if the council doesn't object, I would like to take from the city manager number 1 and 2 together, because they both deal with the same subject matter. Do anybody have any objections to that? Okay, proceed.
Yep. Accepting the bid from Gornio Ford in the amount of $46,458 for the purchase of a 2025 Ford F-150 4x4 Super Cab XL truck for use by the police department in accordance with the State of Michigan My Deal purchasing program, and accepting the bid from Gornio Ford in the amount of $44,711 for the purchase of a 2026 Ford F-250 4x2 pickup truck for use by the Streets Division in accordance with the State of Michigan My Deal purchasing program.
Okay, you have heard the two from the city manager before you. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Moved by Councilmember Mosrak. Support. Supported by Councilmember Lamb. Any discussion on the two? Hearing and seeing none. Call the roll, please.
Councilmember Pemberton?
Yes.
Councilmember Archibald?
Yes.
Councilmember Haremza?
Yes.
Councilmember Lamb?
Yes.
Councilmember Mosrak?
Yes.
Councilmember Payton?
Yes.
Mayor Ashford?
Yes. From the city manager, number 3.
Accepting the bid from LaFontaine CDJR in the amount of $86,686 for the purchase of two 2025 Dodge Durango Pursuit all-wheel drive vehicles for use by the police department in accordance with the State of Michigan My Deal purchasing program.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Moved by Councilmember Pemberton,
Support.
supported by Mayor Pro Tem Archibald. Is there any discussion? Okay, hearing none. Roll, please.
Councilmember Archibald?
Yes.
Councilmember Haremza?
Yes.
Councilmember Lamb?
Yes.
Councilmember Mosrak?
Yes.
Councilmember Payton?
Yes.
Councilmember Pemberton?
Yes.
Mayor Ashford?
Yes. From the city manager, number 4, please.
Accepting the proposal from Panchera LLC in the amount of $51,370 for the purchase of a new playscape at Kind Park.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Support.
Moved by Mayor Pro Tem Archibald and supported by Councilmember Pemberton. Is there any discussion on that?
Madam Mayor,
Yes.
this is a really a great piece of equipment that we're getting significantly discounted. They actually removed about $10,000 off the price for us to get it within our budget, to be quite frank. Kind Park is a neighborhood park. The play equipment there is just getting beyond repair, and it's becoming a liability. And so the option was we could remove it to avoid the liability, and then there would be nothing there, but I think that's pretty terrible for the neighborhood. So this is not a budgeted item, but it will be amended to the budget. But I think it's important to get that park back up to snuff.
Okay, and where's this park located?
Well, 12th and Division, I believe.
No, I'm just saying, I know where it is. I was just.
Yeah.
Where it's okay.
I was out there 2 days ago,
Oh, okay.
taking a look at it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a good neighborhood park. We're also going to be doing some fence work around there. I don't know why we put up such massive fences back in the day, but it looks like a prison yard. So we're going to take down some of those fences and make it more aesthetically pleasing to the neighborhood.
Okay,
Which is good because we just did all the mill and fill in that neighborhood last year.
okay. And is this the first piece of equipment we put out there? Is there anything else out there, or is this the only one?
There's a play set out there right now. It's just really old.
Oh, okay. Will that be torn down?
Yes, yep.
Okay.
It'll be removed.
Okay, thank you. Okay, roll call, please.
Councilmember Haremza?
Yes.
Councilmember Lamb?
Yes.
Councilmember Mosrak?
Yes.
Councilmember Payton?
Yes.
Councilmember Pemberton?
Yes.
Councilmember Archibald?
Yes.
Mayor Ashford?
Yes. From the city manager, number 5, please.
Approving amendments to the 2024-2025 budget for end-of-the-year adjustments.
Is there a motion?
So moved. Support.
Moved by Councilmember Mosrak and supported by Councilmember Pemberton. Is there any discussion? I would like to hear an explanation.
Yeah, I attached a 3-page memo here on what all the changes are, but this is just a housekeeping measure that we do every year.
Yeah, I know it's housekeeping, but I want you to highlight what is in the house.
Yeah, okay. We had additional $75,000 of ARP money that we spent. We had unbudgeted wages that we incurred, $90,000 had to be addressed. $20,000 in the general fund was also amended for supervisors trainings. I have, let me go through the whole thing.
No, but just to highlight, and some of the amendments were, what are the areas? I think the.
Well, there's about-
McMorrin was one.
Yeah, there's about 20 different amendments here. The McMorrin transfer, we increased that a little bit. The fire station removal, again, was $260,000. So these are just accounting for council actions in the last year.
I just wanted the audience to know, as far as transparency, that
Yep.
the amendments are what we do afterwards. We already passed the budget, but we found ourselves in such a way that we had to move some money, and that's that amendment, move it over, because we had to balance the budget by law. So we had to move money over to the McMorrin, and we also had to give some to the fire station, correct?
Yeah, there's about 20 different things in here.
Yeah, well, they're all roll up to the same thing,
Yep.
but you still could let the people.
Yep, and just, the public has this available for download as well every Thursday, so if they want to read this, they can download it tonight and read it.
Yeah, I know, but I think they like to hear it from us, and then they know where to hit it. Okay, thank you, City Manager. Okay.
Councilmember Lamb?
Yes.
Councilmember Mosrak?
Yes.
Councilmember Peyton?
Yes.
Councilmember Pemberton?
Yes.
Councilmember Archibald?
Yes.
Councilmember Haremza?
Yes.
Mayor Ashford?
Yes. Now we will be moving towards our resolution. Resolution number 1, please.
Approving the lease agreement with Macomb St. Clair Workforce Development Board, an agency of the state of Michigan, to continue leasing office space on the 6th floor of the Municipal Office Center.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Moved by Mayor Pro Tem Archibald. Support. Supported by Councilmember Lamb. Is there any discussion on that? How long have they been up there?
Since 1999.
1999? It's a long time, okay. Still in business. Okay, no other discussion on that one? Call the roll, please.
Councilmember Mosrak?
Yes.
Councilmember Peyton?
Yes.
Councilmember Pemberton?
Yes.
Councilmember Archibald?
Yes.
Councilmember Haremza?
Yes.
Councilmember Lamb?
Yes.
Mayor Ashford?
Yes. Resolution number 2.
Approving the agreement with UHY LLP Certified Public Accountants to conduct the audit for 3 fiscal years.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Moved by Councilmember Pemberton and supported by
Support.
Councilmember Mosrak. Is there any discussion on that? Number 2?
Madam Mayor.
Yes.
I'd just like to point out, I want to thank our Finance Director Lee Ward for taking the initiative and bidding this out. When he got hired on, he thought we were paying too much, and he was correct. So this will provide significant savings from our current firm as well. What's also nice is UHY is a pretty renowned financial company. They have about 236 municipal clients, and so they're very well experienced. What is really nice is they have an office in downtown Port Huron as well. So that'll be nice for when we do field audits and whatnot, that they'll be here.
Well, that is commendable. Lee, thank you for all that you do. And just through the grapevine, when you came over, I heard they say you got one of the best accountants probably in the state of Michigan. So thank you for saving us that money. It's not that we don't need it. So thank you so much. Yeah.
One of the things I'll note as well, I think there was a couple of public comments about the council budget being increased. And if you guys were all getting raises, that was not, it was the cost of the audit was going up. It's paid for out of the council budget.
Who was getting a raise?
In the last meeting, someone had alluded to that the council had given themselves a $49,000 raise. It was not the case, it was just the audit cost.
Oh, okay, I was getting ready to say,
Yeah.
you holding back on me?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you for that tidbit. All right, thank you. Okay, so I guess we're ready for the roll call, please.
Councilmember Peyton?
Yes.
Councilmember Pemberton?
Yes.
Councilmember Archibald?
Yes.
Councilmember Haremza?
Yes.
Councilmember Lamb?
Yes.
Councilmember Mosrak?
Yes.
Mayor Ashford?
Yes. Council members, you have before you on your added agenda here, we have resolution number 70, 71, and 72, 3, 4, 5. And I would like to take them all together, seeing that we had the special meeting before we came in here. Is that, anybody have any?
Can you do 78 as well?
And 78?
Yeah, for the clerical.
Other 3 at the
Oh,
end.
okay, the other 3 at the end.
Actually, 79 too.
Oh, okay. Okay, so we're gonna do 70, 71, 72, okay,
8, 9, and 80.
and 8, 9, okay, and the ones we just added, okay. So anybody have a problem with that? Okay, and the reason that we're not discussing this because we did hold a special meeting at 5 o'clock where we asked I was there, we asked a lot of questions, and we heard from our HR director who did a fantastic job, and they did get everything in shape for us, and we have our employees there, so everybody's happy as they can get. So we held our own, and we want to thank all those union representatives and everybody that was a part of this process, because it's a lot, everybody wants to feel valued, and they want to make sure that they're being paid accordingly. And sometimes you can't do what you really want to do because we don't always get what we think that we're worth or whatever, but we represent a whole lot of people and we represent a budget that we have to be careful so we could try to do as much as we can for the entire city. So I just want to thank all of those that came together and made sure that that happened. So thank you very much, Renee, and thank you, James, for your input there too, and thank the council for sitting in and doing that, because that's one of you asked what the city council do. I think that is one of the greatest things that we do as a city council all over America, probably the world, is to have a budget in front of you, and when you, as the people that we serve, ask for this and that, we got to make sure that we can pay for it and see how we can look at that, intelligently and know what we're really talking about in order to make it happen for you. So just want to thank everybody. We're in this together. So you may proceed with reading all of that.
I will. Approving a new 3-year collective bargaining agreement with the Command Officers Association of Michigan through June 30th, 2028. Approving a 2-year extension to the collective bargaining agreement with the City of Port Huron Utility Workers Supervisory Unit through June 30th, 2028. Approving a 2-year extension to the collective bargaining agreement with the City of Port Huron Utility Workers through June 30th, 2028. Approving a 2-year extension to the collective bargaining agreement with the Port Huron Clerical Association through June 30th, 2028. Approving a new 3-year collective bargaining agreement with the Patrol Officers Association of Michigan through June 30th, 2028. And authorizing the city manager to grant non-union employees a salary adjustment and/or to allow additional merit consideration to be effective for the pay periods beginning June 28, 2025, June 27, 2026, and June 26, 2027, and to grant a one-time payment of $1,200 paid on or before July 25, 2025, to each full-time non-union employee who is actively employed on July 1, 2025.
Wow. That's water. Okay, you've heard the reading of the collective bargaining agreements. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Moved by Mayor Pro Tem Archibald and supported by Councilmember Lamb. Is there any discussion or anything? Hearing none, calling for the vote.
Councilmember Pemberton?
Yes.
Councilmember Archibald?
Yes.
Councilmember Harenza?
Yes.
Councilmember Lamb?
Yes.
Councilmember Mosrak?
Yes.
Councilmember Payton?
Yes.
Mayor Ashford?
Yes. Motion carried. And also, we had another one that was added by Mayor Pro Tem Archibald, and it was called the Resolution Number 14.
That one
was
should
added.
already.
Oh,
should
you
already be taken, because you guys
included that
already-
into that?
Well, you guys already voted on that at the beginning to
Oh,
add
okay.
it.
To add it.
Did you want to discuss it further?
I think it needs to be
I thought we only
discussed.
voted on adding it.
Yeah.
Yeah, she just added it. I didn't think so.
Should we
You want me
add
to
it
reread it?
after ordinances?
No, after the ordinance
Okay.
is where it goes.
All right. Nope, I see
Now,
what you're
just
saying.
because I said I was
Under
human
the
don't mean I'm
resolutions.
forgetting everything.
Okay.
Okay.
So, number 14.
No, it's added, okay, so we will take that one now. Okay, so is there a motion?
You want me to reread it?
Yeah, if you would like to reread
Could
it.
you read that?
Adding the resolution to the agenda authorizing the mayor to initiate an evaluation of the city manager utilizing the previously adopted evaluation format. This process shall include authorizing the city clerk to distribute the established evaluation form to all city council members for their completion and submission to the mayor within the designated timeframe.
Okay, so take that as
Scribbles
moved.
on
Is
that
there
for
support?
conversation.
Yeah. Is there a support for that?
Support.
Supported by Councilmember Pemberton. Is on discussion?
Just Mayor Ashford?
Sure.
Just a quick question. I did get the certified mail, but I was out of town and got it late, so I don't have, I think the date may have been.
This will be a new one.
This will be a new one?
Yeah.
Okay, it's just a new
This
process?
is all different, yeah.
Got it,
It's the
okay.
same, it's the same process, but it's just a different timing mechanism going forward, yeah.
Perfect. Thank you.
So it's all found a home back where it belongs with the city clerk, and she will do that, and we're back on track. And it never was your intent. You shared with me, many of you have, not that you didn't want to do it, it's just the little wiggling you had to get done. So now we're going to do it, and that's what counts.
Great.
We will be, as a council, as a full council, we will be evaluating our city manager. And that's it. Okay?
Madam Mayor,
Excuse me.
Excuse me. Am I under the understanding that there will be a new evaluation mailed back out to us?
Yes.
Quick question, can that be optional to be able to pick that up at the clerk's office also? The reason I ask is it came certified, it ended up a couple trips to the post office because I'm not there that much and I get my mail every few days. If there is an option, I don't know if it's possible, but maybe when they are ready, if I would rather swing by the office and get it if I could, please.
Yes, you can.
Great, thank you.
Yeah, and I think the letter stated either way, it just.
Okay.
It was just a prompt to get us moving.
Sure, thank you.
Okay.
Mayor Ashford, say my request, is there a reason it has to be certified?
No.
No,
Okay.
it was a prompt on my behalf to
thank
get this
Okay.
going. You know how you have to do something to
Yep.
get it going, you
Great.
just can't sit there. So that was my way of, my strategic strategy.
Perfect, thank you.
Okay.
Madam Mayor?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, just want to, I'll say, I'm grateful if the council take this opportunity to do this. I appreciate having my annual evaluation. It's something that I look forward to. As an employee, I want this to be done. This is something we've done every year. I've been evaluated now for 18 years as a city manager. I've never got a bad review. But it is nice to have positive feedback from the council. And so this is a very helpful tool for me in my professional development to know what things are going well, things that we can do better. And so I just really appreciate you guys taking the opportunity to do this.
Thank you. We look forward to doing that for you. Okay, roll call, please.
Councilmember Archibald?
Yes.
Councilmember Haremza?
Yes.
Councilmember Lamb?
Yes.
Councilmember Mosrak?
Yes.
Councilmember Payton?
Yes.
Councilmember Pemberton?
Yes.
Mayor Ashford?
Yes. That concludes our resolutions. Now we will, J, item ordinance.
Second reading and enactment. An ordinance to amend Chapter 52 zoning of the Port Huron Code of Ordinances to provide for children's therapeutic group homes and community centers.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Support?
Moved by Councilmember Mosrak, supported by Councilmember Pemberton. Any, it's a second reading, I don't know if there is any, okay. So there's no discussion. Call the roll, please.
Councilmember Haremza?
Yes.
Councilmember Lamb?
Yes.
Councilmember Mosrak?
Yes.
Councilmember Payton?
Yes.
Councilmember Pemberton?
Yes.
Councilmember Archibald?
Yes.
Mayor Ashford?
Yes. Ordinance number 2.
Second reading and enactment. An ordinance to amend Chapter 52 zoning, Article 3, District Regulations, Division 1, generally, Section 52-162 map of the Port Huron Code of Ordinances to rezone the property generally described as 3147 10th Avenue from an R zoning district to an A1 zoning district.
Okay, and this again is our second reading. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Support?
Moved by Councilmember Pemberton and supported by Councilmember Lamb. Any discussion? Okay, hearing none. Roll call, please.
Councilmember Lamb?
Yes.
Councilmember Mosrak?
Yes.
Councilmember Payton?
Yes.
Councilmember Pemberton?
Yes.
Councilmember Archibald?
Yes.
Councilmember Haremza?
Yes.
Mayor Ashford?
Yes. Ordinance carried. Okay, we're at item K. our tabled item that we're taking off the table.
Authorizing the city manager to mail out a survey to all city residents regarding keeping of chickens within city limits.
Okay, is there a motion to move this off the table?
Mayor Asher, if I may.
Just a minute.
Okay.
I think we have to move it off the table before you can put any food on the plate. We getting stuffy in here. Okay, so there was a motion to move it off the table? Okay.
I don't think so.
You want to move that off the table?
If we don't make the motion, it just dies, and so.
Yeah, that's what I'm getting at. I want to make sure.
If we make a
So you
motion, then
wanna
it comes
die.
back and we have to vote on
Yeah.
it. Either one is fine with me.
Yeah, okay.
If you want to
So
discuss
you
it.
just wanted to die, you want to just, well, you can't even discuss it if it's still on the table, can you? It's according to Robert's rule.
You're the chair, you can authorize.
Yeah, I can authorize it, but I don't know if that's,
Madam Mayor, would you like me to provide an explanation as to why it would die?
do I want you to do what?
Do you want me to provide an explanation as to why they would let it die?
No, I don't want you to provide the explanation why it can't be dead.
Mayor Ashford, if I may.
I think that she did it so she could.
So I originally asked, this was an idea that I had in speaking with our city attorney and possibly getting a better feel for what the residents wanted. After discussion that the city manager and others have had with those who are asking for the chickens and talking about putting it on a ballot, we just definitely agree that if they're going to go forward with putting it on a ballot, we don't need to be bothered to do this.
Oh, okay.
So that's why I'm not making the motion to vote on it.
Oh, okay.
Why spend the money to do it if they're going to proceed, which we definitely agree with,
Okay.
to put that on a ballot.
Oh, okay. And see, and that's what I wanted. It came from you. You know, you respectfully should deserving to say that instead of you having to put anything
Yeah,
else
it's
in
fine.
it. Okay, so there's no motion on it, so it dies. So we'll put that to death. Okay. So, okay. The announcement, the city offices will be closed on July the 4th in observance of Independence Day, so we will not be here, but we do want to make sure that everybody stays safe out there, you know, watch the fireworks and all that other kind of stuff. You know, we have got different kind of fireworks these days, so just watch yourself and take care of yourselves and just have a, you know, a joyous time together. Is there any, yeah, there is something else that needs to be coming. You wanted to say something afterwards. I think it was the gentleman about, the prayer. Okay, the policy. We do have a policy in our, that our prayer, the reason it isn't part of that is because of the policy. It is stated that we're supposed to do it before the opening of the meeting. But I know I read further that that could be changed with a vote from the council. But right now, currently, it's in our rules that it's supposed to happen prior to our council meeting. So we can't go back and forth, so I could talk to you afterwards, but I just want you to know we're just following the rules, okay? So we weren't trying to do anything secretive, because that's very near and dear to my heart too. But out of respect for what we were doing, those are the rules that are inherited, and then we can change it. If we're going to change it, then we'll go in that direction. So I wanted to answer you for that, okay? And then also, someone mentioned about ICE. Did we have anything to do with that? I don't know. That would be you.
Yep.
Okay.
We have not been asked or participated in any federal action, whether with ICE. So any type of the raids are going on, our police department has not been engaged in that at all. So we do not participate. We do get called to the bridge occasionally to help out with something there, but we're not actively participating with anything with ICE.
Oh, okay. And then also someone came up about the communication about the lead in the water. Are we planning any follow-up? We sent out letters?
Yeah, so we're required under state law now, under Eagle regulations, to do a survey of all the water lines. So if you notice, we've been taking the vac truck out, going around and vacuuming them up and exposing the lines, and we physically have to look at the line to determine So that is serving them notification that there was identified as a lead line. Noteworthy, it's your personal line. That's your line on your private property. We're just serving you notice that your personal line is lead. Now, over the course of the next 5 years, we will methodically go through to work and replace lead service lines. We've been replacing dozens and dozens and dozens of lead service lines every year, and we will continue that effort. So it will eventually get replaced within the next 5 years.
Okay, good.
But this is one of those things as well that we call an unfunded mandate from Lansing. The cost of replacing the lead service lines on private property is probably going to cost us between 15 and 20 million.
Whoa.
So that's the cost in the next 5 years. So Lansing made this order, and there is no direct correlation between your lead service line and lead in your water. And so we have a no detect, so meaning when we send water to your home, we cannot detect the presence of lead. And so we test 33 different sites throughout the city once a month.
Wow, that's something.
And actually, that was going to be one of my follow-up questions was regarding that. So are you saying that by law now we have to notify them, but they're not providing any funding to actually fix them?
Correct, but they are requiring us within 5 years to address it. So eventually the lead service line will get replaced, but the notification you received was what we were legally obligated to send out for our permit.
Jeez.
Mayor Ashford?
Yes.
I just wanted to ask about where we are at with the canal and with the pocket park.
Yeah, the Pocket Park, they're going through a plan right now to finish it, so we're in the final negotiations with the contractor to get that done. Hopefully we get that done this fall. There'll be some lead time on the glass railing. They'll have some work done on the glass railing and some concrete that has to be poured. As for the canal, there is no status change for the canal. I don't know how much plainly we can tell folks, unless we get money from the state or feds, no work is going to be done at the canal. We are unable to open the canal to let water flow because it will cause the banks to collapse on the north and south side, which would further raise the cost of fixing it. And so I know a lot of people want to get that open, get it running. We simply do not have the funds to do it. And so I get phone calls all the time from people, and a lot of them in the townships. Meet with their township boards, ask that your township boards maybe help out with funding it as well. But as of right now, there is no status change with the canal.
Is there any updated timing as far as for the state and the federal? I know we got two different ways.
So we are in the draft Senate budget right now. Gary Peters has got us into the Senate budget. We're hopefully going to make it into the State House budget as well. But again, all the horse trading that goes on in Lansing and DC is going to be very difficult to get funding. So this is not an easy task.
What about Representative Pavlo? How's his efforts going?
He's doing his best. He's got a group of about 33 legislators who are coming to Port Huron during Boat Week to tour the canal and to look at the canal. And hopefully, and it's a bipartisan group, which is helpful. So he's doing his best he can do. But it's a big push to sell a canal to some other legislator on the west side of the state, you know. Please vote to give Port Huron $6 million for a canal that, you know, so.
Yeah.
We're hopeful, though.
Yeah, just for your information, public, James Freed and I did do a video that was taken to Lansing, that's where it went, and we weren't begging, we were just telling them that we're here, and we're very much a part of Michigan, and we need help in the way of funding for that gate. So we are trying to do everything that we can, you know, possible to try to make a dent in that big ticket item, you know, so, I don't know, short of prayer, I don't know, we just need to get that, but there's no safety hazard?
No.
Just sitting there?
No,
okay.
there's no safety issue.
Yeah, so no safety issue.
And Madam Mayor, just maybe one request. I know how Lansing and all that it works, and there'll be a pretty quick turnaround, but if there's any, you know, if all of a sudden on a Tuesday we find out it's coming up for a hearing on a Friday,
yes.
If we could get that word out, I mean, to your point, so people could go to Lansing, try to, you know, affect change that way. Mm-hmm. I know there's not a 2 months notice. It's usually would be like a Tuesday, hey, Friday it's coming up. Just give our, you know, we'll support any way we can, have the public support any way we can.
That'd be great. That will really be great. And I know we have a group of people through, I have a network that we use in the groups. And they're right behind me, and they know what we're going through. And I know James has a group that he's always got his face out there too.
Yep.
So we're doing all what we can to get that, you know, under wraps. So with that, I think that we did take care of everything. The construction out here, the change orders, they were enormous, and always used to bring up the change orders, but what gives out here?
The change order was planned, and it was in a budgeted item, so instead of redoing the contract, we just changed the contract to include Phase 2.
Okay, so this is just a part of
Yeah.
Phase 2, but you're trying to tell me it's on track?
Yeah.
This is on track, okay.
Yep, we had Phase 1 and Phase 2, the budget passed, we got Phase 2, and we did a change order to account for it.
Okay.
It's not like the project's over budget, 800,000.
Oh, okay.
It's just a change order accounting for the scope of work.
Well, it's okay, it's
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
When you explain it, we
Yeah.
understand it better, so you moved out of one phase and you're into the next phase that was allocated for this to proceed. That's what we need, okay. Okay, so, all right.
Madam Mayor?
Yes.
If I could, one moment, please. Good job on your part grouping those items together. It would have been quite a bit redundant to go through all those, so I appreciate you doing that. Secondly, Mr. Fried and I spoke a couple weeks ago about, for lack of better words, the dragging of the feet of the contractor that was doing the demo on the central existing, or the old central fire station. I wanted to thank James for sending out, let's say, a stern letter that we all received to the contractor, and immediately within 36 hours of that letter, they were there, and they've done tremendous amounts of work in cleaning that area. James expressed to them how important it was to keep their dates because we have a lot of summer events coming up. So I just wanted to thank him for that, and it looks like it's back on track. So,
Okay,
yeah,
good.
thank you.
Okay, he's doing his job.
Madam Mayor, I will say as well, I held a meeting with SC4 and our engineers to talk about a whole host of issues of collaboration as well, and that riverfront property did come up a little bit as well, so we met with SC4, some master plan, future land use planning they're doing as well.
Good, okay. Like everything's working. Anybody got anything else to shake loose
No,
up in
just-
here? All
Just,
right.
Madam Mayor, I like this format at the end as far as addressing some of the concerns. That's some public comment, trying to get answers or progress report. I really think, we should make an effort to do this at this part of the meeting to have clarification. And I guess just under that kind of thought is the State of Michigan MDL purchasing program. There were 3 items on there today. I know we're familiar with it, but can you just give a little context, James, of what that program is? Because
It's
3
the
items
My
were on
Deal.
it today.
Yeah, the My Deal.
Yeah.
Yep, the My Deal allows us, essentially, it's the economies of scale, it's purchasing power. So instead of us bidding out a Dodge Durango, we'll bid out a Dodge Durango for every single police agency in the state and get better pricing. And so the state essentially bids out large ticket items or items that you would need. And that's everything from software to Durangos to carpet cleaners. But the state bids those out and then allows us to buy in their purchasing.
Thank you.
Saves us money.
So it's discounted rates?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
I'm glad you brought that. My only thing is, how big is our fleet? We almost have to sell them to somebody else. How many more?
Well, we're replacing, so when we buy vehicles, we take vehicles out of service.
Oh.
And so right now, we try to get a patrol car, we try to plan for replacement right around 100,000, 115,000 miles. It takes some time to get a new, so like when you buy a vehicle, it's got to be outfitted, and that takes a couple of months. So by the time this Durango will hit the road, will probably be the fall. But we take those vehicles out of service and then rotate them out. So you'll see building inspectors and code enforcement and cadets driving older patrols, because at about 100,000 miles, MML recommends 80,000. I don't think I agree with that number, but right around 100 to 120, you don't want to be running code in an old vehicle like that. And so these get a lot of wear and tear. We want to make sure that these officers have safe vehicles. So if they're in a high-speed pursuit, they know it's safe.
Okay. Okay, so with that, we'll send out a fresh new letter for your evaluations, so, and I know you're all set. You can just hand it in to Cindy, and we'll move forth from there. And then also Terry, Councilmember Lamb had mentioned twice about meetings. I think the year before last, we did have a goal session, and we all agreed, I think it was Councilmember Moserak, that we should have meetings, work group meetings or whatever. And I think it'll be good for us to get more developed in what we do and how we can be best leaders and all that kind of stuff. So we are going to have regular meetings doing that. So we're going to do some work on here as a council and shore up our stance here as leaders of our community. So I'm going to get with Cindy, or Cindy could get with us, and we'll get standard meetings so we all could be there in those meetings. So, and we will stick to a set agenda item, and then we will also do a development part of the meeting on a concern that is kind of prominent that we need to work on. So we just need to do some work. We need to reboot. So that's what we need. So it's not about me and James, it's about the whole city council. So we need to work together as a council, and we need to help and be there for one another. Okay? All right, let's do it. All right, is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
So moved.